It's your boy Chuckmulatv, and we tapped in with my homie.
GDOTNUMBER6.
What's poppin' with your G-Dot?
I'm coolin'.
What's going on with you? I see you've been dropping a lot of freestyles. You've been going crazy with the music, you know. You've been putting in a lot of work down here in the city.
Yeah.
What you got coming up right now?
I just dropped that Tweaking. That's like a 6-7 song EP. I just dropped that bitch, but that bitch called Tweaking because I'm tweaking to drop this real side project that's gonna be my baby for real.
Oh yeah.
But before that, I'm gonna give him LaFeast Finest Volume 2. I'm gonna drop that, and then that real side coming, that real side, man. So I'm just building on my momentum for that real side, really.
Oh yeah. So what part of the city you from?
I'm out the LaFeast.
Out the LaFeast?
I'm out the real side.
How it was growing up in the LaFeast for you? It was rough. Was it easy? You had a lot of good, a lot of bad.
I mean, that shit was litty.
Yeah.
Like everybody talk about, man, before the storm, before the storm was litty. Like Mardi Gras, you couldn't drive down LaFeast. Like Mardi Gras, our door was open. Like you could just come in that.
Oh yeah, cause that's right down Canary.
You know that. Like you know that the Zulu pass on Orleans, so. Mind you, we going to the Zulu parade, our door still open, you still go to get out. It was litty, like, it was litty.
What's the craziest thing you seen growing up in LaFeast?
Man, the shit wasn't in the LaFeast, the shit was on Duman and Galvez, man. I forgot how old I was, they were probably like 6, 7, some shit like that.
Right.
And like, back then, you really could just be driving around and you see a murder scene. Like, that shit was just, I don't know, you could just see that shit.
Right.
And my mama was the type, you want to go see?
Oh, yeah?
So we pull over like this on Duman and Galvez right in front of the church.
Right.
We pull over, man, homie, like, right there, his brain's right there, like, and I remember,
So you grew up seeing it as a little kid?
Yeah, you know what
How old do you think you was? First time you seen it?
Between from 6, either 6, 7, or 8, like some shit like that.
All right, so let me ask you: do you feel like that affected you mentally in any way, like growing up, seeing stuff like that coming up?
Most definitely, most definitely because it made it like I ain't react to that shit on no throw up shit. I had my big brother behind me, kept playing brains, like he saying that behind, like this shit was a joke, so it was like. I think it affected me because that shit normal to a nigga and I don't think it's supposed to be normal.
Right, so matter of fact, growing up in New Orleans, we see a lot of murder, a lot of violence, a whole bunch of stuff going on. Do you feel like you have PTSD?
It's a chance.
Yeah. Do you think in the future a lot? Like when you're moving around, you like, man, I gotta make sure I gotta move like this.
Yeah.
I hope nobody ain't tripping.
Going to other symptoms that they say, yeah, I think most definitely got it.
Yeah.
Because just on the light level of it, just being a young black dude, period, in America. I can't remember the last time I went in a store and not thought about is they gonna be watching me and seeing if I'm stealing. So I move a certain type of way when I go in the store automatically because I don't want them to think that. You see what I'm saying? I don't think the regular person need much move like that.
Right. What about when you like around police or the police behind you, stuff like that? Do you ever get like a nervous feeling? Or?
Yeah, I do know. I got like 3 felonies.
Oh yeah.
Like how you know?
Yeah. How was that? Like getting 3 felonies, still being able to be out here on the streets like.
That shit, that shit a blessing. Like
yeah.
Fuck that shit. Like once you start going to jail, that shit hard to stop.
Yeah.
So
what's the longest time you did in jail?
How long I was in jail? Man, I was in jail from 2013 to I came home in 2017.
So like 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like the whole Rich Homie Quine and shit, I missed that era. Like a lot of shit that had like a lot of fire era, like that shit. I had missed that shit. I was in jail. Like,
so whenever you went to jail for what you went to jail for, if you don't mind sharing, what happened?
Nah, I ain't trying. I done went what? I won 20 on a hat charge. That was in what?
What you mean by hat charge?
A body murder.
Oh, right.
I won 20 on that bit. That was my biggest blessing. That was just 4 months, but that shit felt like, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
Went to jail for what? A gun, crack, fuck. You know the one that made me call my jokes was the gun charge before this one.
Right.
Cause I just got another gun charge. But like before that, that like that gunshot, that convicted felon with a firearm, that shit made me like that's what got me my jokes.
Right. Do you feel like it made you get your mind right to the point to where now you like, man, I ain't trying to be going back and forth to jail.
Yeah, man. One of my raps I say, learn from everything. I treated penitentiary like college.
Right.
Like, man, I learned, like, you know, people around me know, like, I ain't come out the same. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like, when I was just going to jail down here, just going to the parish and shit, like, you know, just going to Coachella, just going, you know, like, my mom, that shit wasn't, I ain't really was josing enough. Like,
right.
I'm going, you know, a few weeks, I did the full month, all that shit. I'm coming right back, and I figure all this shit come with it anyway, so I'm coming back out like, you know, let's do the same thing. You ain't supposed to let that change, you ain't supposed to let that, so I'm coming back out and I gotta do the same thing.
Right.
Like, that shit ain't supposed to, you know.
So do you feel like you going to prison or, you know, you going to jail, it kind of helped you want to get into the music thing, or you was doing the music before that?
I was doing it before that. And like, see, all this shit lined up, because when I was just going to jail down here and I still had that mentality, man, yeah, I just went to jail, I come back home, I gotta do what I was doing though. I ain't, you know, I was rapping in jail and shit, but like when I come home, I wasn't, you know, nigga wasn't really fucking with it, because nigga was still on some, I'm gonna fuck with the street shit, I'm gonna fuck with the street shit.
Right.
But see, when I called my jokes and I went to Angola and shit, and like, you know, I really, that shit, like, you know, I really went to read and shit. I really went to, you know, just sitting down analyzing myself, like, you know, just really.
You like, man, I done made it all the way to Angola. I must be doing something wrong.
Yeah, like, you know, that shit really give you a chance. It was really like, that shit gave you a chance to see, like, keep doing what you doing and you could be here forever. Right. So it was really like a real ass preview. Like,
before you went to jail, did you ever see yourself getting caught or getting convicted, going to jail to the point to where you was gonna be eligible? So you seen it before you just was doing what you was doing?
I know what come. You know, nigga know what come with that shit.
Right.
Like, you know, it was on, like, I remember chilling with my little brother. Nigga really be chilling on some, bitch, what songs you think you'll be remembering, you'll be bumping while you in that bitch? What songs you gonna be bumping? Like, you hear a nigga saying, what songs you gonna be bumping? Not like,
now speaking it into existence.
Yeah, like, you know, that was you know, but I mean, that's how nigga was thinking. That was nigga mentality.
Right.
Nigga ain't know no better.
All right. So when it comes to the music, like, what is your creative process when it comes to making the music? Because, you know, being in New Orleans is kind of a rough market when it comes to entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your process? You got like certain studios you go to, certain people you work with, don't work with?
Sean Napalm, I've been fucking with here engineer. He nice. That's who work at Maryland Studios. I've been fucking with him for a minute. We, you know, Andy. I've been fucking with him currently. Like Andy at what that shit called? What it's called again? The Embassy.
Oh, okay.
I like working with Andy because Andy, like, he got an ear on him.
Right.
And it's like, you could go to him with a song and your song could be at level 1. And just fucking with him and y'all, you know, that chemistry and shit, he'll bring that bitch to level 10 for real.
Right.
But as far as my creative process, like this shit, you know, like I could be at like, I done been at a bus stop and wrote songs. I done been, you know, that shit just be hitting me. Especially when it be like a real situation, that shit just hit me. And once it start, I just can't stop. Like.
Right. So speaking of, you know, rough situations, I know you see with all the stuff they have going on in the city, the crime, the violence, just and the third. Do you ever plan on leaving New Orleans?
Yeah, I'm most definitely. I gotta expand.
Yeah.
You got to, like, I mean, what big business only stayed in one state? So.
That's true.
I gotta expand.
Yeah, that's something that, you know, people say a lot of times. You know, even Jesus had to leave his hometown, you know, to reach his full potential. So. Most of the time, in order for you to get where you gotta go at, you gotta leave your comfort zone. You know what I'm saying?
Most doubt. But it's always still gonna be home, though.
Facts.
It's always still gonna be home.
Speaking of that, I seen you spend some time in Virginia or something. How was that experience?
That definitely enhanced me with that spitting shit.
Yeah.
Cause I was already rapping as a little boy and shit. You know, like ABC rhymes and shit. But it was, you know. Man, when I went out there, though, there's a lot of people in Virginia they not from Virginia.
Right.
So I'm dealing with New York niggas, Carolina, Philly, like all that shit was up there. But my nigga Marco, nigga I was fucking with, he was from Buffalo, New York. I'm fucking with a nigga from Harlem. Man, like these niggas spit. These niggas worry about a fucking punchline.
So when you say spit, you mean it made you focus more on your bars,
yeah,
and your delivery.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Because you know that's what was hot. Like how Jordan's hot, how this hot, how Wayne was hot. Like, and then Wayne had just really gotten his bag. That was what 2005, 2006. Wayne had just gotten his bag. So man, like you had to come with it, like and so fuck that shit.
Do you feel like being here from New Orleans, you have to, kind of stick to the bounce sound or do something like that, or you think it's good enough to make it here with just bars, or you feel like you gotta leave in general to make it?
I think being from New Orleans, specifically being from New Orleans, you really gotta be yourself hard as a motherfucker.
Right.
So whatever come out of you being yourself, you gotta really ride that lane.
Gotcha.
Yeah, try to, and you from here, so being yourself, what you done grew up around. You done grew up around bounce, so you gon' hear a fire bounce beat that could be mixed with this beat, and you gon' wanna do that. I mean, you from here.
Right.
If you don't be yourself, cause that's how New Orleans, that's why we is what we is. We always been ourselves and everybody,
So I got another question. What are some of the pros and cons of living in New Orleans? Like, what are some of your funnest things to do? Things you would recommend that people come to town?
You come to town, you definitely gotta go to a second line.
Okay.
If you come in town specifically, you should try to catch sidewalks. That was in February. You just missed it, but
What is the second line for the people who don't know what the second line is? From your perspective.
From my perspective, that shit like a celebration. I mean, on these clubs, they got their bands. They get together. They get flyers, a motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? You go out there and you do your footwork. You feel free. That shit really like a relief from stress, for real.
Yeah.
Like if you stand back and just look at it, just
you second line every Sunday?
Not every Sunday, cause I be working, I be doing other shit, but
you gotta make sure you catch a couple of them out the year.
The sidewalks, that was that bitch man though. That's her. That bitch man though. I gotta catch that bitch.
What about going out? Where do you go out a lot at?
I might dip, give me a drink from Iggy's. I might dip and give me a drink out Shamrock, shoot pool. I've been fucking with the hookah joint. That's home field advantage. That's in the hood. I fuck with that bitch. Yeah. I ain't been in a treehouse yet.
Right.
You hear me? That's really the John. The John meet the best. If you come out here, go to the John and get a shot. I guarantee that bitch gonna be big as a motherfucker.
What about Bourbon Street? You ever go down like to Bourbon Street, fool around with the tourists, stuff like that?
Nah, I don't went to jail on Bourbon Street before.
Oh no, it's a bad place for you. Huh?
I'm liable to, dip with a skirt or something like on some outskirts or side streets in the French Quarters, like looking at the art and shit, on some different shit. But like for not Bourbon, no.
What do you hate about living in New Orleans?
What I hate about living in New Orleans. How small this bitch is. Like,
I know people out of town don't really understand it. They think since New Orleans has a big name, they think it's a big place. When you say you hate how small it is, explain more about that.
Like, how I know you.
Right.
Now, if we could go off of just who you know, like everybody know the whole city.
Right.
I know you know, like, you probably gonna know a good 75% people that I don't know.
Right.
In the city. So through you, I can holler at them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know probably about 75-60% of people you don't know.
Exactly.
You could talk and holler at them. This bitch small.
Right. So do you ever go to like bigger markets and check out like Texas, California, stuff like that? You ever go to those places often?
Yeah. I don't go often. I took my daughter to Texas for her birthday.
Do you instantly notice the difference between New Orleans and being in Texas?
Instantly.
If
you drive there, you gonna feel it when you get there.
What you mean by feeling?
You can just feel like how. Alright, if you go to a high place in New Orleans, you look around. If you're not in the CBD area and you look around, you gonna see the CBD area where all the buildings at. You gonna see that one area. You might look in two different directions, probably one more direction, and see a few more buildings. That's it. Like, when I took my daughter to Texas, we got a high-ass float. So I was able to look out. You see you see like a fucking CBD right here. You see a CBD right here. You see, you see buildings everywhere.
It was like a culture shock.
Like, that shit, damn. It looked like they got 10 metalries. Like, it looked like they got 8 CBD areas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's different.
Do you feel like being in a bigger market brings you more peace than being in a small market like this? mentally? Or you feel like you always got peace no matter where you at?
I think the bigger market will be better for me personally.
Right, because it's more easy for you to move around without really.
You know, I have more by me being from here. A lot of shit that goes against my peace is here.
Right. So it's like leaving here, you kind of leaving a lot of that trauma and stuff you done been through behind because you ain't really got to see it every day or be around it.
Right.
Do you feel like you do the same stuff for the most part throughout the week? Like your habits and patterns are the same?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I tell people this all the time. So you've been living here all your life. I'm going to ask you this question. Monday through Thursday in New Orleans, if you want to go at this time, we're going to say 2, 3 o'clock, and you want to find a place and go network, chill, that's not a restaurant or bar or club. Or we're going to just name a place. Name a place that you could go and just network as an artist or entertainer during the week.
The Embassy Studio.
The Embassy Studio?
The Embassy
Besides that, like to where you going to just see regular everyday people, meet new people, just
Cajuns. Oh, what? That's just kind of a restaurant. You go on Canal Street.
Canal Street. That's a good. Hey, that's a good approach.
I mean, people from all around the world go.
Right.
People from all around the world, literally, down there.
Right.
So it's no telling who you may run into.
That's true. People don't like going to the French Quarters though. That's from New Orleans.
I know you know. I get it. I get it. I mean, but still.
Do you feel like the French Quarter is dangerous?
Yeah. My point of view, it's not dangerous to me. Well, it is, because you can go to jail quick. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's dangerous. In all aspects, it's dangerous.
Gotcha. So before we get out of here, my last question is there any new projects or any upcoming things that you have coming up that you want to talk about?
Man, just look for that. Just look for that fucking that little Feast Finest Volume 2. That's the next one that's coming out, and after that real side. But look for that motherfucking LaFeast Finest Volume 2. That Bigger Than Life song going up. See, if you ain't feel me yet, I bet you that song gonna make you feel me. I bet you that bitch gonna give you chills.
Gotcha. We gonna tap into that.